Hello everyone, Barb here from barbaderholt.closetomyheart.com. Well, it is about mid-June, so it is time to think about Father's Day cards. This year I need to make two. My father-in-law unfortunately passed away last year, so I don't need to make him one anymore, so I will make him one in my heart. What I do is I come up with my design and I replicate it for how many I need. So this is what I came up with. I had mentioned the Waterfall Thin Cut set that we sell, and this is what it looks like. These are all the different pieces, and I know I've used elements off of it in other projects. That's what makes those so worthwhile, because you get all of those extra goodies that work in other spots. This is what it does. You pull the tab. Now I used craft paper. I find that that works fairly well. And then the white daisy on top. I had a piece of some mix-in paper from the current mix-in, the May-June mix-in paper pack. It's a lot of black and white stuff, which I love. And what I did is, you can see the sparkliness on there. I used a stencil and some of this Stickles paste. Well, it's a glitter gel. It's so pretty and I forget about it, so I put it out here so I remember to use it. And I used one of our stencils, and I will insert here a clip showing that. And I'm taking one of our stencils. This is a stencil, it's a clear stencil that has a bunch of different designs, sort of like a quilt. And I am going to take some of the glitter gel Stickles, and I have an offset spatula. This is from our spatula set that's meant for mixed media, and all I'm doing is rubbing it across the stencil. I'm not masking anything. This is meant to be sort of organic, just holding it in place with my fingers and taking the spatula after it gets some on there, holding it at about a 45-degree angle and scraping across. And then the excess you can swipe right back into your little pot of glittery goodness. We'll remove the stencil. And you can see that I ended up with just a little bit of a little glitziness on there, and it has some iridescence to it. Isn't that cute? Okay, so I'm back. This is all dry. I had set it aside, and I have one of our card bases. So this is just a 5.5 by 4.25 sized card base, and here I have this beautiful pattern paper, and it would have been fine without the stenciling of the glitter gel, but I just wanted to give it a little glam. I don't know why. I just thought it would be pretty. And I'm going to glue that down. I'm using Art Glitter Glue, which I get online. I find that it works well. I like the tip of it. It seems to work for me. Here is the waterfall. This is what it looks like. You cut it out. You've got these little tabs, and I will tell you, every time I make one of these, I learn something new. This one I did not do correctly, so you have to really deal with the string being tucked under. It's okay, it works. You need to tuck this one, and you go through and you work and move all of those little score lines. So I've got this little tab folded under, and then these little tabs fold back like this. You need to glue these together, being very careful not to get glue on this part here, because it will stop your slider from sliding. So got that glued together, and you can hold on to it here and give that a little tug-a-roo, and you can see that that moves freely. Now the next thing I do is I put glue on those little tabs all the way across. That's the only thing that's going to hold this down. And you glue it down to the front of your card. And you hold that in place. And that's it. That's all you do. That's what holds this in place. If you put glue anywhere else, it'll glue down and it won't move. So you can see how that's moving. The next part is using up these little squares. We've got these 4 little craft squares, and I am going to put glue in this first section. It's a whole big section, and it's perfectly sized for this square. And I go through and I stick all of these squares on. The next section, I'm going to hold this up here. You can see between the score and this next score line, that's where you want to put your glue. And then attach your next square, lining up the top and the bottom. And that's it. And you keep doing that so that all 4 of those little squares are in place. I like to put the glue here because I know exactly where I'm putting it and it's going to be in the right place. If I try to glue this, I may get it over too far, which will cause a problem because things will be stuck where I don't want them stuck. And this last one, I line it up with the edge. And again, you can start moving them, and it takes a little fussing to get the paper to move the way that you want it to move. Okay. Next thing we need to do is a little bit of stamping. So I've got 4 of the smaller scalloped edged squares plus this banner. The banner is going to say Happy Father's Day. I'll close that up for now. I've got plain Jane black ink, and here's the Happy Father's Day. And I'm going to put that on this banner. Down and up. Looks good. The stamp sets I'm using are called Nature's Wish. And this was a special stamp a few years ago. Lots of good father, grandfather, brother, dad stuff. And then this was a special last year that was called Legendary Father's Day. So lots of neat things on there as well. I didn't buy this year's. I know we do have some new stuff. Excuse me. I just didn't buy it this year because I knew I had these. And you know how that goes. Not that I'm discouraging anyone from purchasing. Of course, that would be fabulous for you to go to barbbaderholt.closetomyheart.com and make a purchase. But I understand if you don't need to. You are the best. Now this one, I am going to take my little chamois and I'm going to give this a nice wiperoo. And I'm going to use my thumb to dry that off. What I'm going to do is I am going to mask off with a Post-it note. You can use Post-it tape or whatever you happen to have that you like to use to mask off. You could use even washi tape if that's what you have. And I'm going to stamp this in a stacked manner because this little piece of paper is not long enough for the whole phrase. So I've got that on there. Now I'm going to hit that best. And the most important part of doing this is to remember to take off that Post-it note. If you leave that on there, you'll be sad. And I'm just going to do best. There, you are the best. Excellent. And then I've got one more. And this one says for my. For my. And then I found one that says dad. Because my dad he's a dad. He's not a father kind of guy. We just never called him that. He was just dad. And then I have these little tiny hearts. They're so cute. And I thought it would be fun to add a few little hearts. And I think I'll stick a heart on this one too. There we go. And I'm going to close that up. Hopefully we won't have an accident there. Excuse me. So, right here on the top, I wanted to say for my dad. And then the next one, you are the best. The other thing you could do is find some images, and you could certainly stamp little pictures that you color, lots of options. I'm not going to color. I'm going to go with the classic black and white. Call it a day. And get that last one on there. And I want to take a little bit of some twine. You can use whatever you have, ribbon, twine, whatever works for you. And hopefully I'm pushing this through the right way. Yep. That gives a little something to hang on to. It also gives an indicator to whoever's receiving this that indeed means you do something. Happy Father's Day here. I do want to pop this up so I have some 3D foam tape, and I'm cutting it in half so that it's thin enough to fit on the back of this little banner. And we are almost done. And one more sentiment on the inside of the card. Ooh, almost forgot that. So we're back with our black. This says, wishing you the very best today and every day. And that actually is a sentiment that could be used for many different things. But we're going to use it for Father's Day. And here we go. Happy Father's Day card. I hope you will consider looking into the waterfall. You, of course, can also make it so that it goes this way. But I like it this way. There you go. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a blessed, crafty day, and I'll see you next time.